Hey, this is Hannah Hethmon with Better Lemon Creative Audio, and I'm going to do a quick video to show you the simplest way to use the new podcasting equipment in the AV room. So, flip my camera. So we have these ATR 2100 mics, and you'll just have to squeeze them into the various stands. It's a little tight, but they fit. There's a bit on the back that says, let me get to it, that says back on the microphone right there, and you'll want that facing down, so that's the back of the microphone. And I recommend putting a pop filter on here somewhere. One end of your cord goes in here, your XLR cable, and the other end of your XLR cable will go in the Zoom recorder. So you can just use one, or I have two set up right now, both feeding into input 1 and input 2 on the Zoom recorder. So once I have that set up, I also plug in the USB cord for the Zoom recorder that goes in here. And then on the back, I can there's a switch to turn on the Zoom recorder. And so you'll see it waking up like this. So once it's on, to use it as an audio interface, which is what we're going to do with the laptop, you need to click USB. So I hit USB. I go ahead and hit enter for audio, this IF, and then I'll leave the settings as they are. They're all fine, and hit execute. And that just means it's ready to go. So now you can see from this here that my microphones are picking up some of my sound, actually. Yeah, boop, 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 boop. So you can see one's picking up more sound over there. Now that's picking up more sound. If I click 1 and click 2, I can test my microphones. They say 1 and 2 on input, and that relates to this, input 1 and input 2. Now, in order for those to be on, the settings need to be just like this. So you want it to be here, mic line. That's important. That's this. Oops. Not the built-in microphone. So both of these are on mic line. And then I have this knob set to mic. So if I were to turn this off, you can see that I'm no longer picking up microphone 1 on the audio interface screen. So I have to make sure that it's on mic. So then I'm going to control my volume through this knob going all the way to the mic. So you can see now it's much louder, and now it's much quieter. So with these AT2020 mics, they're very, very sensitive. So I would probably, for most people, keep this all the way down at the very bottom. If I'm picking up for audio narration or podcasting, if I'm getting somewhere below 24, like this is just fine from here. When I'm up against those mics, you're going to be getting somewhere between negative 24 and negative 12. I would recommend trying to stay around that halfway point there at negative 24, because it's easier to make your audio louder than to fix bad audio from being too loud in the microphone. So the other thing that's important is if this needs to be on. This is the on-off button. If this is not on, your microphone is not on. So you should be wearing headphones, and when you test it, then you should be able to hear in the headphones to make sure that those are actually on. But as you can see, they're both picking up audio pretty well right now. I'm pretty far away, so that's why it's so small. You don't need to worry about anything else here when you're recording using an audio interface. So then for actual recording, when you plug in, you should plug in and then turn on the thing, and you'll have open some sort of digital audio workspace. So that just means your editing software. So that could be GarageBand, that could be Audacity. I use Hindenburg, and I really like it. And Hindenburg automatically will prompt me to use the Zoom R8 driver, that's this guy, as an input. I don't want it as my output, I just want it as my input. So I hit OK. And now, let me show you a new one. So now here's what it should look like. So now I can see wherever you select your microphone, you want to make sure you select your microphone. I can see the Zoom R8 driver. Now, if I was just using one of them, I could do it in stereo, so picking up both microphones, left and right input as one. In order to pick up the two microphones as separate tracks, I'm going to make one of my tracks left, so that's the left input, and my other track the right input. So these are going to correspond to input 1 and 2 on the Zoom. Oops, no, wrong. And right. Okay, then you're going to arm your track however you prepare your track, whatever your whether your audio editor does for recording audio. In my case on Hindenburg, I'm going to arm my tracks so they're ready for editing. I can hear how loud it is, see how loud it is here, and then I'm going to hit my record button. And now I'm recording. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I do like Hindenburg, FYI. So you're seeing about the same sounds coming through because I'm speaking equidistant from the mics. But if I'm, let's see, there you can see I'm just scratching only one of the mics. So when you have two people talking, they're gonna talk separately and it'll come up, it'll pick up some of the mics will each pick up some of the other track, but you'll more or less get a different track for each person. And then for me on this, whenever I'm done, I hit stop, and then you'll just save it from your digital audio workspace. So you don't have to worry about saving on the Zoom at all. This is just we're using this just as an audio interface. Now you can record and save directly onto the USB card here, but it's a little more tricky. So I'm not gonna explain that right now because I think it's easier to just do it on your workspace.